What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Armaret, and actually talking over some blind watch multiplayer Crucible mission on Destiny. It is the control type game mode. In it, I use my Titan type class. I'm only level 12. I'll be level 13 by the time this video is done in this gameplay. As of right now, I think I'm a level 24 with my Titan class. It is the most advanced class that I have so far. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit today, one about where the content has been on this channel over the course of the past week or so, as well as what the plan is and what kind of is happening to me right now. So, for those of you who may or may not know, a while back I ended up having some surgery on my shoulder and my elbow because I was having some numbness and a bunch of pain which persisted from an old baseball injury. So I went and I got that fixed, and a direct result was about 2 weeks off my channel, basically because I couldn't use my whole arm in any capacity. As of late, I've been putting out a bunch of content, a bunch of Diablo 3, a bunch of Destiny tips and tricks, as well as some map run-throughs. I advise you to go kind of check that out. I'm really proud of a lot of that content. And then all of a sudden I hit a really significant wall. And what was happening was, it was tough for me to grip my controller, and I was having really bad pain that kind of ran through my knuckles and ran through my wrist. So I did, the most appropriate course of action. I went and I spoke with my doctor, and he was a little concerned because some of the symptoms that he saw deemed to be what they consider to be atypical of what the common ailment is. And for those of you who don't know, medicine really is nothing more than a guessing game. It's I have these 5 symptoms, and the result is these 6 items, and then I'll stack rank these 6 items, and I'll start with the most probable and end with the least probable. And that's basically all a medicine is. So especially when you have a situation like this. Now, granted, if you have a virus or a bacterial infection, they can run cultures and find that out. But in situations like this that deal with nerve and muscle and blood flow, it's really just a guessing game. So what they ended up doing was they gave me an injection right into my wrist, and it caused my whole hand to go numb for about 2 days. And once the numbness wore off, the trick was, well, does my hand feel any better? And the result was it was fine for about 3 days, and then went back to the way it was. And what that told the doctor was that I had some serious stricture and blockage in my wrist that was causing nerve damage that went through my hand. Now, for most people, it's a basic carpal tunnel, and there's a carpal tunnel surgery that fixes it. However, here's the real catch. Carpal tunnel only deals with the middle finger, the pointer finger, and the thumb. Then there's another type of that's called the ulnar nerve pinch that deals with the pinky and the ring finger. So what happens is most people just assume, oh, you have wrist pain and you have a lack of meatiness in your hand. It's basic carpal tunnel. But I was showing symptoms of the opposite side of the hand, and that's what made things very atypical. But what the injection actually showed was that what would happen of a release would actually benefit me. And the amount of atrophy that I was having with my hand was becoming really serious. So those of you who don't know what atrophy is, or muscle atrophy is if you don't use a muscle for long periods of time, the muscle basically stops working, starts deteriorating, and starts eating itself. And you see this a lot of times in people who are in wheelchairs, the legs, people who are hospital bound and they don't use a certain part of their body, and you see it a lot in astronauts who go up into space for months at end. And it really kind of concerned the doctor, which actually resulted in rush surgery. So I saw the doctor 2 weeks ago. I got the injection. Then last Tuesday, the decision was made for surgery. And then, of course, so last Friday I had the surgery. So when I said it was kind of a rush decision, I really meant rush. And what they ended up doing, and this is where it gets really crazy, was they went into my palm, from basically the dead center of the palm of my hand, down to just past the wrist. And they put a massive incision. And then you have one major tendon that spans across the top of the wrist. And I'm going to put a picture of the tendons and the nerves I'll put it maybe on the right hand side of the screen so you can still see the gameplay and see what I'm talking about. And then I believe there's 9 smaller tendons that run underneath that. So what happens is they go in and they cut the top tendon, and then that leaves the other 9 underneath it, but the one major one across the top isn't there. And what it does is it releases the carpal tunnel, which is the major tunnel that runs through the wrist that allows blood flow, nerves, and a few other things that go across the wrist to be opened, and allows for the inflammation to go down. And that's what a basic carpal tunnel is. So anytime you hear somebody saying that they're having a carpal tunnel surgery, they're basically going in, and right there where you see that large tendon, they're just cutting that large tendon, and then it's going to allow the whole wrist to basically open up and allow things to flow more smoothly. Although in my case, because it was showing atypical symptoms and it was going against the opposite nerve in my hand, yet I was finding relief from a carpal tunnel, what they went in and they made the incision, then they cut the major tendon for the carpal tunnel, and then they went along the small channel along the side and they cleaned it out. So when I say they cleaned it out, was they went in and made sure there was no scar tissue. They moved the nerve so that it was not being impinged by the other 9 tendons. And then they cleaned out the carpal tunnel itself, the actual channel for which everything runs through, so that everything passes much smoother. And then they sealed me up. So all in all, the whole surgery takes about, 30 minutes to an hour. But the side effect and the downside is you lose complete and total use of your hand for an extended period of time. It's about a week in its wrappings where you can't even use your fingers, followed by one more week of stitches, and then you have a month in a brace, and then you have 2 more weeks in which you can't lift more than basically a cup of coffee. So if you think about that, it's 6 weeks worth of rehabilitation. Now, luckily for me, a controller is less than a cup of coffee, and I can use my digits, but it is significant downtime. So for someone like me who would spend every single waking moment from the time they got off work to the time they went to bed, you're talking about 5 to 6 hours a night playing video games, whether it's Diablo 3, Destiny, some Call of Duty Ghosts I'd sprinkle in occasionally, and now, which I'm super excited for, which is the Shadow of Mordor game, which the moment I get my hand back up, there is going to be content of that on my channel. It completely takes me out of the video gaming realm. And for those of you who know me, my channel is based around video gaming and comic books. Well, I can't drive to the comic book store to get new comics because I can't use my hand. And I can't play video games, so I can't get gaming footage. So it really has put me in a bit of a bind for at least the next week or so. And I got lucky that I found this piece of footage sitting on my hard drive when I was going through and cleaning it up. And I was able to kind of at least communicate to you guys the severity of what's happened to me, and also why you haven't seen content. For a while there, I was showing 1 video a week. It was Comic Book Thursday. Go check them out. They're great videos. They give a ton of information on I think it's like 30 or 40 different comic books. Maybe you want to go out and pick them up. I was doing comic book histories, which when I came across something fascinating, I'd talk about that. Those are still out there. You got Justice League videos, Green Lantern videos. You have videos on the Infinity Gauntlet, which is what the entire Marvel universe is being built on in the movie franchise. I have the history and what it is and all the gems and what they do. And then I have, video games, and it kind of kills me because I don't want this channel to die, and this channel will not die, I promise you. But it kills me that I can't put out the content that I want to put out at this point in time. And it's strictly tied to the fact that I cannot get any more content. I can't play video games. It's tough for me to go in and edit videos, but I'm managing fairly well right now with just one hand, especially when it's just a basic base commentary with a video already rendered. But that's my situation. And so all you new subscribers, thank you so much for joining. I think I just hit the 660 mark, so my march for 1,000 by the end of the year, I think, is still on track, though I think I'm losing some ground. But thank you for everybody who joined. I promise you new content is coming. Everything has just been delayed by about a week or so. I am keeping track of all the Destiny patches, the closes to the loot caves, the new loot caves that are being made available by people kind of sneaking in the back door, as well as I'm gathering some some insight as to what exactly the DLC and what the expansion packs are going to be. And I think I've got a pretty good idea, because we know the first expansion pack is going to come out in about December, and it's going to give a bunch of new life to this. But I'm working a few angles to see if I can get some more concrete information, some pictures for you guys. The moment I can get some confirmed stuff, because I don't like putting unconfirmed stuff on this channel, I will get it out to you guys. I push that right out the door. So please just bear with me, to stick with me. I know stuff's not coming out as quickly as I would hope, but it's going to turn around. And hopefully you guys learned a little bit today, both about what's happening with me, what's happening with the channel, but also what exactly is a carpal tunnel surgery, what is carpal tunnel syndrome, what is atypical carpal tunnel syndrome, and the type of effect that it has on an individual. That it's not so much, oh, my hand hurts, you're up and at it in a week. It's almost 6 weeks from the moment you get diagnosed and the surgery happens to the moment recovery ends. So it's nothing small. So please, just kind of think about that next time you hear somebody with it. And hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. And as always, from the bottom of my heart, have a good day.